So today we're going to paint this door with a mini roller and a brush. Doors at home, and you want to put just a fresh coat on them, this is the video for you. This is for all you DIYers at home. Not so much your professional painters. I'm sure you guys know all this stuff. But this is for you DIYers at home. If you got a door like this and you want to put a fresh coat on it, I'll show you a really easy way to do it. Lay a drop down. Get your brush. And now, folks, a painter is going to charge you anywhere from $100 to $175, $200 to paint, or even more depending on your area, to paint the door, even if it's got a coat of paint on it already. You've already paid to have it painted once. He should have left you with some paint so that you can get a color match for when he needs a new coat. Now, I will save you hundreds of dollars just showing you this simple way to get a coat of paint on your own doors. First step, lay a drop down. You're going to have to invest a couple of dollars in a setup, but it'll repay you again and again and again and again. Because I'm going to come out with tons of videos to help DIYers do simple paint jobs around their house. I recommend, buying a decent brush, $20, $25 brush. But if you take care of it, it's the only one you have to buy. Cheap mini roller, this I think was $6. You buy a 2-pack of these for I think $3 or $4, about $4 depending on where you live. And a paint pail. That's all you need. And you can get a drop cloth, you can get a sheet. It really doesn't matter what you use for a drop cloth. You can use plastic, whatever. But this is really all you need. And you can do just about any paint project in your house. So first off, we'll start with a brush. We're going to cut around our door handles, and we're going to cut our floor here. I could mini roll this one and not touch the floor, but most houses aren't like that. So if you have carpet or something, I'm going to show you how to cut. So first, we'll start with our doorknobs, load our paint up, lay a drop down. I always hold my brush like a pencil. It's just like a pencil. We'll start up here, and then kind of work the bristle in, walk it in. It's walking your cut, right? You walk it in, and then you walk it out. Same thing down here. We'll start up here, just walk it in. Same thing over here, walk it in. Manipulate your bristles, lay some of that excess off. Same thing, but now, this is a very small area, so you make sure you turn your handle, you get rid of that. And I'm only going to use about 3/4 of my brush. But it's the same concept. You just walk it in. Lay off that excess. You're good to go. Now when we roll with our mini roller, we're going to come back and roll right into this as close as we possibly can without bumping anything to get rid of these brush strokes. We pulled down a lot of them, but we're going to roll right into them later on to get rid of 90% of them. Lay a drop down. But we're not going to worry about cutting these. We're just going to cut our bottoms, and then we're going to start rolling. Load up your brush. Make sure your drop is secured underneath your door because it may grip. Again, you want to start way up here. Start way up here. And then walk the brush into the cut. Now, if you drip, it's okay. But imagine now, if you drip a little bit, that's fine. But imagine if we started down here. You'd be getting more paint on the floor than you did the door. Go back, lay it off. Now we're ready to roll. Now we have our handle cut. We have our bottom cut. Most people may cut this with a brush. That's going to take too long. We're going to have to go over it anyways to pull out the brush strokes. So take your mini roller and just hit these just like this. Make sure we get the corners nice. They're covered in paint. Boom. Now that you did that, just go back, lay it off. You got a lot of excess paint. That's okay. We want excess paint. We can lay all that off. Now, when I'm rolling, I'm not laying hardly any pressure. I'm letting the roller do the work. You're just guiding it. And now we have plenty of paint to continue painting this square. Right? Back roll. Back rolling is essentially when you roll something and you literally just come back and re-roll what you just rolled. You're coming backwards with your roll. Back rolling. What you're doing is essentially spreading the paint and making it even. An even application. So now we have that roll. We'll just come right down here because we have a lot of paint. As you can see, it's still loaded and we have a lot on the door. So we'll just spread what we already have here. We have a lot to work with. We'll bring this up, lay off everything. And we want to cut or roll right into our cut as close as we can. And if you bump it, that's okay. Just wipe it. I always keep a wet rag with me, just in case. Even professionals bump sometimes. So just keep a wet rag with you. If you bump some of your fixtures, you bump the floor, you have carpet, it may be a little harder, but you know, you can wipe most things off with just a wet rag if you get it immediately. The longer you wait, the more it dries, the harder it gets. So now we're just going to work our way up to that media rolling. We painted all this, we're going to roll right into it. When you're rolling into something that's already painted, that's already wet, you want to come past it. Almost like you didn't even roll it. So you can feather it, as they call it. Or in this case, just roll it down till it ends. So you get a much more even application on your final result. Get as close as we can without touching it. Make sure we bag roll. All right. Here's section. Same concept. Now we're ready to do this big section to load up our media roller. This bathroom door has already been painted, so I'm going to be holding this door. If you've done it like that as well and you're on the second side, just hold it with your fingers up here. Door's not going anywhere. Make sure all these are covered in paint and then lay it off. Now, we're probably not going to have enough paint to do this one. It's a little bit bigger. That's okay, though. When you run out, just make sure you back roll. Lay out all this extra paint. Dunk. And just continue where you left off. I like to go about 25% over where I stopped. Okay, you see me stop here? I go over it about 25%, and then I continue on. Same thing with drawing the wall. I do it the same way. And then once I reach the end, I just go back roll over everything I just did. And the reason I do about 25% over my whole overlap is to make sure I get the coverage, because that was where my paint was starting to run out. So I want to make sure that it is completely covered evenly with the rest of it, and then what I'm about to put on. So I'll do 25%, go till it ends, come back, and just kind of work it all in so it all blends and it's all even. Having an even application is super important. So now we have the center painted, we're just going to paint our sides. Roll it up, come down, get as close as we can. If you bump a little, it's okay, just wipe it off. It's just paint. It's just paint. It is just paint. And we'll roll our top, make sure everything is even. There you go. Now just kind of look your door over. They're notorious for dripping. That's why I recommend you use a mini roller. You DIYers out there, I'm sure you would hate to paint your door, go, clean up, go to another room, come back and look at it, and it's just drips everywhere. It's very common for doors, especially your multi-panel doors. You'll have 2 of your panels here, 3 down here, whatever. Those are notorious for dripping. Your corners, those are what really get it. So I recommend you use a mini roller. You seen how fast it took me? It was pretty fast. Even with explaining how I do it, it was still pretty fast. I mean, I've got 5 more doors to paint. I mean, I'll probably paint them in an hour, both sides. So it's not that bad. It goes pretty fast. It's pretty inexpensive. Like I said, the brushes last a long time. These last forever. So it'll help you a lot with any of your future projects. And again, I'm going to be dropping videos on just how to paint just about everything in your house without hiring an expensive painting company or, going out and spending, thousands of dollars on tools. You don't need to do all that stuff, especially if you're just a homeowner just looking to quick update your house, for the summer or, for an appraisal, whatever, a party, whatever. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars to do some of this stuff. So if you want more tips and tricks on how to paint simple things around your house for pretty inexpensive, literally all you gotta do is go buy the products and the basic tools to do it. Like, subscribe to the channel, leave me any comments or any questions you may have. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as I see them. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.